approval of minutes. When committee members have had a chance to review, I would entertain a motion to
Motion
approve.
to adopt.
Second?
We got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Minutes are approved. Item number 1 is authorization for the mayor to execute a traffic signal maintenance agreement with AlDOT for signal improvements at the intersection of Mercedes Drive and M-Class Boulevard. Brett, welcome.
Good afternoon.
Good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon.
As stated, this is just a request to allow the mayor to sign a traffic signal maintenance agreement with AlDOT. This is for a new traffic signal that's going to be at Mercedes Drive and M-Class Boulevard at the exit 89. That's where it's going.
Okay. So move.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Before we leave this, Brett, this basically says we're responsible for everything having to relate to this, right? Or how, with them, or are they saying we have an agreement of who's responsible for what? Is that the best way
Yeah,
to
this
put
is
it?
saying they'll come in and install it, and then we take it over
maintain
and maintain it.
Okay, that's perfect. Got a motion, second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item number 1 is approved. Item number 2 is approval of professional services agreement with Volkert for the Stillman Boulevard Bridge Replacement Project. The total is $1,500,000. Clint?
Yes,
Welcome.
sir. Good afternoon, Council.
Well,
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. So yes, this is a 1.5 million for approval for a professional service agreement with Volkert for the Stillman Boulevard Bridge Replacement Project. This bridge is built in 1938. I'm sorry, 1938. It's about 86 years old. It goes over the railroad right there. It's right there in between Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard and Nick's Kids Avenue. Got a slide. Right there. Zoom in. It's about right there. So that's the bridge. The plan is to widen the Stillman Boulevard, add a 12-foot shared use path on the north side, add a 6-foot wide sidewalk on the south side, utility relocations, decorative lighting, and add some security cameras in that area. Volkert's going to perform all the typical professional services, traffic studies, environmental permitting, the whole thing. The goal is to use that cost estimate that they will provide for a grant. We're wanting to apply for a BIP grant. That's a Bridge Investment Program grant later in 2025, in November 2025. It's in District 1. We anticipate these engineering services will be completed within 12 months.
Mr. Chairman, I've had the opportunity to view all of the projects that are coming down in our district, and I want to thank Clint for his work with us on this project, and this will be a great addition of connectivity and will enhance the quality of life within my district. As he just before mentioned, the 1.5 million, and which is going to get us started, and the rest of the funding will be done by grant. Can you talk about the total cost of the project?
I cannot say. It's depends on. We'll get a better idea of what that cost of constructing this bridge from this cost estimate. The plan, I believe, the plan is to receive a preliminary cost estimate at about 30%. I think that's about end of spring, somewhere around there. We'll have a better idea of the total, what that's going to be after they get some survey data. They get some ideas of what's out there. Yes, sir.
Is a bunch an answer?
It is a bunch, right?
What was it that Mr. Green, what were the words he used?
Fluff.
What?
Fluff.
No, well, that's usually what he does, but there was another line he said, I can't remember, I'll think of it just a minute.
The
Metric
theory
ton?
is that as we're going through the grant process, by showing the federal government that we've gone ahead and constructed or performed the professional services related, that will help us. I suspect, though, any sort of grant is still going to require another match by the city as part of that. But going ahead and doing the professional services does give us a chance, a higher chance of being successful in the process.
That helps you get hired to queue, doesn't it?
We believe it
It
does.
should.
It should-
Is this,
And contrary to what is sometimes put out there, the bridge is safe. There hasn't been years of begging for this bridge to be replaced, to fall on deaf ears. I got that question at the Transportation Summit. I don't know how, I just love social media. Love it.
Just
When
get
I-
off of it. It just goes
I was
away.
actually asked by another engineering firm. I didn't know
Oh,
what they
wow.
were referencing till they told me.
Oh, no.
And so I mentioned that the bridge, we certainly feel like it does need to be replaced. It still has a very useful lifespan. It's inspected every year annually. So, and we're excited about this project, and the railroad will certainly be involved as well.
Irrelevant, but being that it was built in 38, was this part of Franklin Roosevelt's program that did so much building like that all over the country?
I'm not sure if it's
I
good.
bet, we'll say it is, say it was.
Maybe we'll find something as part of the project that's
This,
interesting.
this
Does kind of
may,
have that works
may be a
progress,
question for Carly, but is
progress
this,
look to it.
remind me, was this proposed in the capital project from Walt last year
Yes, sir.
Yes,
that we enacted?
The bridge was.
The bridge,
The,
the 1.5.
the planning for
The
this
1.5.
1.5 million was, yeah.
it was.
Yeah, just.
Volker, come on up.
Tell us about Franklin Roosevelt.
He wasn't born then.
No, not quite, not by about 50 years, but we have not started that research on that yet. We will, as part of the environmental work on it, environmental justice, there will be a lot of work done preliminary to find out if there's any restrictions or anything like that on that bridge, but we haven't started it yet.
So the 1.5 million to get the ball rolling was in the capital.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
The 12-foot widening of Stillman Boulevard?
It's
Are
a
we,
shared,
are
gonna be a
we
shared-
redoing the bridge because the street it goes over is now gonna be wider? Or is the bridge being redone for structural reasons and we decided since it's being replaced, let's widen Stillman
The
Boulevard?
bridge is being replaced for structural, its
Okay,
lifespan.
so the bridge gotta go,
Right.
gotta be replaced.
We've probably got another decade of service out of the bridge. And the bridge is inspected annually. Just
Oh, right.
again, I do want to stress that. But when we do these type of projects where we can add those pedestrian components,
Connectivity.
we
Quality of
really
life.
want to do
It's a
it.
plus to the community.
And that does connect in back to MLK, where we just phase one, where we just upgraded, which will eventually connect once we get MLK phase three going all the way down to the Western River.
So how far how far are we talking about widening Stillman Boulevard from where
it's
to
going to
where?
be within Nick's Kids and MLK.
Oh, just there?
Yes, sir,
Yes,
that's
sir.
that section there.
Okay.
We're gonna tie it all back in as close to the bridge limits as we can. And with this BIP grant program, with Federal Highway, in recent years, the more you can do for pedestrian and bicycles and things like that, the better chance you have of getting the funding when you include that. A lot of times it's a requirement to get the funding. And then the readiness, as far as there's a readiness section in the application, and so having a project that's ready to go, close to 100% ready to go, helps you with getting the selection and getting awarded that grant. So the more we can get done on the design up front, the better chance we'll have of getting the grant for the city.
And this will be a plus for our district.
Other questions?
Okay, the 1.5 gets us positioned to apply for the grant.
Mm-hmm.
The grant would complete the groundwork incidental to the bridge replacement and the bridge replacement. Check. And then there would be some normal portion of city match to the grant. Do we have, are we talking 5, 10, 50? Do we have any rough order of magnitude?
It's 80-20 is the match.
No, not the
Sorry.
proportion.
The cost of the bridge?
Yeah, we talking 5 million, 50 million,
I would say 20 million
20.
for all the utilities. There's water, there's sewer, there's overhead, distribution and transmission on both sides of Stillman. It's a large project.
Okay, so that ball of wax, maybe 20, 80-20 split, so there's another 4 for us if we get the grant. What if we don't get the grant?
Well,
Or is there something, is this a shoe-in grant that we,
no, there's no such thing as a shoe-in grant, and certainly you don't know what the next few months will mean in terms of the projects that you see out of the BIL. So, you know, in the end, we will have to replace the bridge. If 3 or 4 years from now, once we finish the design, we continue to match that with the inspections of the bridge, we will then have to put in our 5-year capital budget cycle, replacing of the whole bridge through general fund dollars. I would likely suspect that would take some sort of bond issue. I don't think you would just take 20 million out. And if it's 20 million today, Mr. Busby, it's
30?
yes, sir.
And you know, let me say this, Mr. Chairman, for a long time, my district has not had that type of investment, and I think this is a great way of investing into my area, bringing that connectivity.
Motion.
Second.
Got a motion and a second, all in favor, say
Aye.
aye. Aye. Item number 2 is approved. Item number 3 is approval of an additive balancing change order to the K&A Builders for construction at Carlton Park. Tim, welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
So yes, sir, this is a balancing change order in the amount of $19,400. This is for additional siding around the playground and pavilion. We also had some additional costs related to the drainage work where we had to remove some trees and replant for that section of the park. And so this additional cost is within budget, but we need the additional amount to award to K&A.
You said sodding, S-O-D, around, I thought you said siding
No, sir.
around
siding.
the pavilion and playground. I thought, why are we putting siding around the play, okay. I don't have any other questions. Motion.
Second.
Got a motion, second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Item number 3 is approved. Item number 4 is approval to award bid and enter into construction contract with Amundsen and Associates for the downtown Y pickleball courts project 527-858-84. Tim?
Yes, sir. So this scope includes the addition of 2 ADA-sized pickleball courts, of course, new lighting, cameras, and fencing. We bid this project September 25th, and Amundsen was confirmed as the lowest bidder. We also have Adam Strawn here from TTL, who is the design engineer for the project.
Tim, what's the time schedule for this?
Um,
Would you say completion
Mid-spring.
mid-spring?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Completion by mid-spring?
Yes, sir.
That's good.
Start date.
Once we get everything awarded, we should, with the holidays coming up around Thanksgiving, maybe 1st of December.
Oh, wow.
How many pickleball?
2 courts here at the YMCA, yes, sir.
So are we in under 650?
All in
Engineering
is
was
under,
90 or
we-
100?
Sir, I'm sorry.
Engineering was 90 or 100, right?
Yes, sir, that's correct. We are in total under 650, yes, sir.
Okay.
Headed to budget count.
So
Motion. Second.
It better be. Motion is second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item number 4 is approved. Item number 5 is approval, minor public works contract with Premier Service for boring at Springbrook Park. The total is $10,510. Jason, welcome.
Thanks, sir. This is for directional boring under McFarland Boulevard for the Springbrook Park project to connect to our existing fiber optic network. The lines run on the east side of McFarland Boulevard there, and so this is the portion to take it under McFarland.
So we bore a hole underneath McFarland Boulevard
Yes,
and
sir.
run wiring through that?
They will run a 4-inch conduit underneath the road for that.
Well,
Shazam, second.
motion is second, all in favor say aye. Aye. Item number 5 is approved. Is there any other business to be brought before our committee? Our next Public Projects Committee meeting will be next Tuesday, October the 22nd. Hearing no new business, I would ask that we have a motion to adjourn.
moved.
Second.